everyone. Welcome to the podcast. So glad that you're back. So this week we're discussing cleansings and the importance of them, and I'll share a few suggestions of simple cleansings that you can do at home. So first, let me explain a little bit. The purpose of a cleansing is to spiritually clear a space, meaning if there's something negative lingering, that would be like a spiritual attack, like a negative spiritual entity, or someone has sent a negative energy through rituals or spells or bad intentions or any sort of burials or witchcraft. Cleansings are meant to get rid of those energies. And then sometimes our own struggles, our own depression, our own frustration can definitely attract bad luck and negative energies. And also we have to keep in mind that when we do spiritual work like candles and rituals and things of that sort, that is an opening or a window, if you will, and that is an entrance for spirits to come through. So even if our intention is not to attract something negative, rituals like causing separation between two persons or reversing witchcraft or negativity sent to us back to its sender, or even sometimes even clearing something negative on us, even if we don't want to jeopardize anyone else, but we know that there's something negative on us and we're doing a ritual, a candle, or prayer, or petition, or a burial with that intention. Just know that any of those that I just mentioned to you, it runs the risk of bringing bad energy around you or attracting negative energy or even waking something up that's sort of been laying low. So a spiritual cleansing, like I said, generally speaking, is meant to clear a home, a space, a business. And you can do a spiritual cleansing on yourself. I do offer cleansings here as well by appointment. I'll be sure to include the information at the bottom. My cleansings, I do offer 3 specific cleansings that I offer by appointment. The first one I offer is a money cleansing. I recommend those cleansings on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. I offer love cleansings. Best days to do those are on Fridays. And then the cleansing that I'm discussing at this moment would be a cleansing to remove bad luck, negativity, witchcraft, and obstacles. And that one I can do any day of the week. For the third one, which is the most common one that I offer, I do suggest that the person come in wearing light colored clothing, including their underclothing. Doesn't have to be white, but I do suggest light colors. And like I said, it's meant to clear the energy on a person. And whenever I offer my cleansings, I'll have a small discussion with the person and get an idea of what the expectation is with the cleansing, what the goals are. And then at the end of the cleansing, even if we're doing a really strong cleansing to get rid of negativity, I always try to redirect the energy in focusing and feeling our goals and what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to attract. And I purposely do this because when we're very consumed by a problem, by a struggle, by negativity, by something blocking us, it's very easily for us to sort of spin out of control and allow ourselves to get really consumed in that space. And I think it's incredibly important that we maintain our focus on our future goals and our plans and our success. And I always tell people when I talk to someone who has been having manifestations or waking up in the middle of the night, unexplained, without an explanation, like it doesn't make sense. A lot of people will tell me they feel like there's a presence or they're trying to wake up and they can't quite wake up. So those are usually signs that it is something negative that unfortunately is around the person. But I always remind the person when we're doing a cleansing, and I know it can be very overwhelming for people, but I always remind them that you govern your space and you have the right and the authority to dictate what or who can be in your space. Now, it's not always that simple. Sometimes there are stronger negative energies or a long period of time where there's been a lot of negativity and it's attached to the person and it won't go away so quickly. That is unfortunately some situations, but I always encourage the person that's coming in for that type of cleansing, just remind yourself, and this is an everyday, remind yourself that you govern your space. Of course, if you have faith in God or in a supreme being, that's your anchor, that's your strength. And I always suggest that you recite your prayers daily and focus on clearing your energy. It's much easier if you clear your energy on a regular basis, like cleanse yourself regularly, versus waiting a long time and then trying to do it all at once. So that's my personal suggestion. But like I said before in the previous podcast, and I'll say it again, this is my opinion, my suggestions, what I suggest that you do. But if you're working with someone or someone's guiding you, definitely follow their instructions. Or if your energy is drawing you to a different procedure or a different plan, or you like to do it otherwise, then definitely respect that as well. So cleansings, again, are to remove negativity in a space or a home. Now, you can also do cleansings in a space or a home that are meant to attract something specific. For instance, in a business, you can definitely do a cleansing to attract sales and business and people being drawn to a specific location. And that would be more like a cleansing for attraction. And I recommend that for people that have businesses. I normally recommend that you do them at a job, but I know some people work from home. And the only thing I would suggest, if you do work from home and you choose to do this type of cleansing, which would be for good luck, for money, for abundance, I would recommend, if you're doing it from home, that you keep a certain space that's dedicated for that business. So if you have people come in, maybe have a specific area where they come in and stay, and it's almost like a small business within your home. And then I know sometimes, especially with social media, there are a lot of people that do online businesses and they don't have people come into their home, but I always suggest, regardless, have a workspace in your home. A space where you have all your paperwork and your product and your orders and your computer. It's just good for you and good for the house to have a specific area that you dedicate for that. And then, of course, if you like to go a little further and you like to set up altars or light candles or have some kind of lucky amulets for abundance and success, then of course you would place it in this area. So if you're not doing so already, I would highly recommend that you keep, if you're doing this from home, try to keep a designated area that's dedicated for that. You can also do cleansings for love, and you can do love cleansings either on yourself, or you can do them in your home to have success and happiness with love, even to bring more union in the home or peace in the home. I know a lot of times people are going through, there's so much conflict in my house, we're arguing all the time, it just seems like there's a lot of negativity there, we're not getting along. That's when I would recommend a love cleansing. Most commonly, people will do a love cleansing on themselves. So they would either come in and do a love cleansings. Like I said, Friday's the best day. I also prepare a bath that you can use at home, soaking in the tub for about 30 minutes, 20 minutes for 2 consecutive nights. And I do provide written instructions for that. It is a prepared bath. It is by order only. I need at least 1 day advance notice to prepare that because I do make them. But that is a spiritual cleansing as well. So the most common one is to get rid of negativity. And then we have money and success cleansings that can be done at home, can be done in a business, can be done in a home if you have a home business as well. And then the love cleansings. You can do a love cleansing at a business. You could do it at your home. And most commonly, people will do love cleansings for themselves. And usually the most common reason why people will do a love cleansing is because they've gone through a lot of struggles, or they feel like they don't have good luck, or they feel like they go out and people aren't drawn to them, or they're open to move forward and move on and have a stable relationship. So one of my suggestions I can offer you when doing any type of cleansing would be to begin the cleansing, if you're doing it yourself, with focusing and anchoring yourself and manifesting first what you're really devout to. So I always ask you, who do you pray to? Who do you have faith in? Whether it's God, whether it's your spirit guides, whether it's your ancestors. Some of us believe in saints and virgins, things like that. So I always suggest write those down. So when you begin any type of cleansing, this is who you're invoking and this is who you're asking to accompany you and to hear you in this plea that you're making through the cleansing. And then after you invoke those energies that you're devout to, then you focus on exactly what your goal is with the cleansing. I would recommend, I know we're tempted to do a cleansing, and you may say to me, well, I want to do everything. I want to get rid of bad luck. I want to attract money. I want to be happy in my relationship, and I want to start a new business. I know that's human nature. We're a little greedy. You can definitely do that, but I would always recommend to try to focus on 1 or 2 specific things. And the reason I suggest that you do this is because you really want to put all your emphasis and energy into accomplishing one thing. And sometimes, especially when it comes to spiritual work, if you do too many things at once or you get too distracted by too many things, then each thing has only a limited time or limited space and limited energy, if you will. So I always suggest one or two is smarter. Like I said, you can definitely do for all of them. If you're not sure what kind of cleansing you need, ask yourself, what's the struggle that I'm going through, if any? What are my current goals? Or what seems to be weighing heavy in my thoughts and really important and influential for me right now? So whatever your answer is, you may say, well, I'm not happy with love, but my money is really stressing me out. I'm in foreclosure, or I haven't found a job, or that's really weighing heavy in my thoughts. Now, that doesn't mean that your love life is not important, and that doesn't mean that you may not want to do a cleansing to get rid of negativity. But if I spoke to you and you explained that to me, I would probably recommend a cleansing to unblock you, to remove negativity, and something for money and success. And you may say, well, Julie, I also want to attract love and I want to be in a stable relationship. But I would encourage you to first take care of the necessity, and then you can move on and expand to anything else that you're trying to invoke. Like I said earlier, when you do any kind of reversing or any kind of separation rituals, you have to be careful because you do run the risk of attracting something negative. So having said that, if you are burning candles at home or you are doing spiritual work, I do recommend that you cleanse the space where you light your candles whenever they finish or whenever your ritual is done. Usually rituals last for a certain length of time. They're usually very specific, 3 days, 7 days, 9 days, 21 days. I always recommend just let it become a normal thing for you, especially if you're doing it at home. I generally do not recommend that anyone do any kind of separation or reversing or anything meant to jeopardize someone in the home because of the risk of invoking something negative in your home. It's just very tricky to get rid of those negative energies, especially if you're the one that's calling them through a ritual. I hope that makes sense. So if let's say you did a separation ritual, you want your ex to leave a specific person or your relationship to walk away from from family members, let's say. And your intention, even though it may be, they've affected us or they are enemies of ours or they don't have good intentions to ours, doesn't matter. If you're doing something to get rid of a relationship or pull someone away, you are doing, in essence, a negative ritual. And you have to be a little careful about doing those inside the house because, like I've mentioned, you run the risk of attracting something negative in the home or something negative lingering after you do the ritual. And then you have to cleanse that space. But remember, it's always trickier to get rid of something negative because, in essence, you've attracted it. I hope that makes sense. So just be careful with that. If you've done it already, there's no point in wishing that you hadn't. Just focus on cleansing the space and getting rid of negativity. A little tip, maybe I always suggest whenever you cleanse your home or cleanse your business spiritually, I always suggest that you first clean like you normally would. So sweep, mop, dust, declutter as much as you possibly can, and then the actual cleansing. Another little tip that I always suggest is try to do the cleansing when you're not in a rush, when you can dedicate some time and energy to it and you're not just rushing through it, because you really want to give it a lot of your strength. Another thing I would recommend, try to do these cleansings whenever you're home alone or at the business alone. If it's a business, before you open or maybe after you close. And make sure that you're doing it when you feel really strong and you're at your peak. I don't recommend that you do any sort of cleansing, even if it's for good luck, when you're super tired, drained, and absorbed, because the person doing the cleansing is the person that has to have the strength. So use your common sense, but try to do these when you're awake, when you're alert, when you're not in a rush. I always suggest maybe your day off. And if possible, I would suggest that you do cleansings whenever you're home alone. So like I mentioned earlier, I do offer cleansings here. These would be cleansings for persons, for individuals that come in. I use flowers, fresh flowers for the cleansing. I also use incense and sage and palo santo. And I have everything here. All you're responsible for bringing in are your flowers and setting an appointment with me. We do have for sale items to cleanse your space. We do have a few options for you. The really common ones and the popular ones that we have at the moment are sage and palo santo. Sage is meant to dispel or clear, get rid of anything negative, if you will. That doesn't necessarily mean witchcraft. It could be struggles or bad luck or just a little bit of negativity, or maybe people that have come into the space that don't have the best intentions have sort of left an imprint. That's the purpose of sage. Traditionally and more commonly, sage is burned. So it's if you're not familiar with it, it's like an herb knotted up or tied up, and then you burn it as you would a cigarette. So you light that and burn it. I always suggest you start at the main entrance of the home or the business, and I always suggest that you cover every space of the home or business, including closets, including restrooms. You really want to get everything. If it is meant to get rid of negativity, witchcraft, negativity, bad luck, you really want to pay attention to hidden spaces. So in theory, if there is a negative entity near you, they like to hide. So behind the doors, empty rooms, those sort of spaces. But I always suggest whenever you burn sage in the home or business, make sure that you cover all of the areas. And then right after that, I recommend that you use Palo Santo. And Palo Santo is meant for attraction and success and blessing and protection. So I always suggest those two. First the sage and then the Palo Santo. And again, you always begin at the front door. Even some people don't use their front door. But I say the front door, that if I'm looking outside of your home or business, the one that appears to be the main entrance, even if it's not used commonly. And we do also have loose incense that is a little more, not difficult, but it requires a little more effort. And that's church incense. And one of the really common ones is frankincense, copal. We do have white copal, which is very common. That's used to cleanse a space. It's also meant for protection. It's an offering. And then we have black copal, which is very uncommon. And that one specifically is meant, like sage, to get rid of negativity. We have, if I'm not mistaken, we still have rose copal, which is meant for love. And then we have Three Kings incense, which is meant for abundance, good money, success, sales, things of that sort. So we have a wide variety. You're absolutely welcome to send us a message or call us here at the shop, 281-442-1200, or you're welcome to send me a text, 281-901-0560. I answer all the texts myself. Please be patient. I do answer between my booked appointments, but we can definitely give you some suggestions of what you're wanting to do. If you know what you want, give us a call and we'll let you know if we have it. If you don't know and this is newer to you, let us know a little bit of what's going on and we'll give you our best suggestion. So I hope that that's provided some information for cleansings. Like I said, I do offer the cleansings here. You can either come in to see me, or I also prepare a bath. And of course, this is only in Houston. I know some people are out of the state, but if you are out of state and you are interested in doing a cleansing, contact me and maybe I can send you the items to boil yourself. And what I could do is maybe prepare everything, write down the instructions for you, and then you can do it at home. And one of the benefits if you do prepare it at home is as you're preparing it, that's going to cleanse your home. And then when you use it, that's a cleansing for yourself. So that could be something good for you as well. So let's see. So incense, Palo Santo. Another thing that I always suggest besides burning incense would be mopping your floor. So I always suggest, like I said, clean first like you normally would, and then the spiritual cleansing. So mop and sweep first, and then maybe add in a large pail of water, add some bath waters in there, and sprinkle them or mop the floors throughout the home or the business. And generally speaking, I would suggest 3 that you always add. Something meant for protection, something meant for good luck and money, and something meant for love. That's my general blanket statement. Now, sometimes people will tell me, nope, I don't want love, I'm good. Well, love is peace in the family and friendships and, business and clients preferring you. It doesn't necessarily mean relationship. But generally speaking, I would recommend protection, something for protection, something for love, and something for money. And like I said, after you do a normal literal cleansing, and then you just sprinkle this in the floors, maybe spray it in an empty water bottle, or even mop the floors would be another option. After you do any sort of cleansing, I do recommend that you protect the home or the business. My go-to would be a crucifix. So place either any size crucifix near the entrance or above, beside. Doesn't matter if it's seen or not. And I always think the best amulets are the amulets that you start accumulating and you personalize as time progresses. So you start adding to them. Now it becomes something very unique for you. Let's see. So I mentioned the cleansings after any ritual. Oh, and on that note, whenever you are doing any kind of ritual, candle burning, petitions, things of this sort, even cleansings, make sure that you get rid of your trash outside of the home or business. Anything that you've used for a spiritual petition, it's not a great idea to recycle the waste or to keep it in your home, because again, it can have something negative on it, or it can have picked up. Or think about it, if it's cleansing, spiritually cleansing and getting rid of something negative, we want it outside of your space. Could even be your outside trash can. Some people go as far as throwing their items in a public trash can, but I would recommend that you not keep it inside the home. So since I did mention cleansings for home or business, I just want to mention briefly that there are 3 areas in our home that are really important, and I want you to really focus on those, either through prayers or through cleansings if you're ready to get that going. The entrance would be the number 1, and in Feng Shui, the entrance represents your happiness, so I always suggest that you focus on that. And one of my suggestions would be, if you've been feeling a little down or there's a little bit of depression, anything you do or anything that you add or anything that you cleanse near the front door will definitely help with this. Your kitchen is your finances. And if it's a business, it could be maybe the snack area, the area where you have, a refrigerator or that area. The kitchen represents finances and the bedroom represents love life. So those are the 3 spots that I always suggest that you focus on the most. We do have a few new items for protections of home and business. I'll post this on Facebook so you can take a look. And of course, if you're interested or want more information, please let us know and we can gladly answer any of your concerns. So I hope this pushes you in the right direction. I hope this motivates you. I hope it makes it a little simpler. The frame of thought and the intent behind it is one of the strongest things. If you're not sure, first investigate before you do anything. Be careful about, I saw this on YouTube or I heard this from a friend. Do your homework before would be my suggestion in any kind of spiritual work. And 9 out of 10 times it's okay, it's safe, it's not a huge deal. But just be careful. Like I said, if you, whether you meant to or not, invoke something negative, it really is one of the trickiest things to get rid of. So hopefully this podcast will help you avoid that. So make sure to follow us on social media. I will provide the link below. You are absolutely welcome to contact me. And if you are interested in a spiritual cleansing, like I said, I am available by appointment Monday through Saturday. My cleansings, you do have to bring some fresh flowers for them. So just send me a message or call us here, 281-442-1200. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope that this provided some useful information for you.